The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Two Beards Talking. I am Daniel Sanders, and as you can see beside me here, Donnie J is not here with us, but he is with us in spirit. Currently traveling back from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so we wish him the best of luck in his travels. Hope he comes home safe. As we always do at the start of every show here, we want to give a big shout out to the troops, the men and women serving overseas and on the home front. We appreciate everything y'all are doing for us. Keep up the good work. Come home safe. We're all rooting for you here back home. So a little bit special show here tonight. Not so much about politics, anything like that. As you can see, it's a little bit different video setup too. And as you can see in the other frame there, we have my brother from another mother, literally.
Literally, yeah.
Chris Sanders. Chris is my half brother. He's been my half brother for 33 years.
That's right.
So Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Chris Sanders. I live in Huntland, Tennessee, and so I drove all the way down here today to do this show, and it's been looking forward to it. And I'm a musician, songwriter, singer. I've been doing a lot of different shows for the last 15 years. And quite honestly, this is the first time in 15 years that I have not been performing anywhere. So remember all these restaurants and venues that are closed right now for all the musicians, because as soon as they open back up, when your friends say, hey man, come watch my show, get all of your friends and family and as many people as you can to come out and support them, because these restaurants, folks, they got to recover. They've been down for quite a while now, and even though they're doing curbside pickup, their sales are low, they're struggling, they're doing the best they can. So when they open, we need to wipe them out, because they need all the support they can to recover, especially if they're a good place and you want to keep them open. So to all the communities out there, shop local, go to these local restaurants. But do the best you can and get us musicians back to working, because it's not just folks like me, the little guy that's out, well, not so little, but you know what I mean, the local musicians. All of us are down, all the way up to Garth Brooks. They're not touring, they're not recording, they're not doing anything except prepping for some shows they may have when and if this gets back to normal.
Yeah, but I don't think Garth and Trisha are hurting either.
Well, they're not hurting, but they're still not performing, and musicians have to perform. I don't care how much money you make, they have to perform. It's in their blood.
Absolutely.
That's what we do.
Absolutely. Real big shout out, big thank you to the Wyndham Garden Hotel here in Lake Guntersville for letting us change up the scenery a little bit. As you can see, a little bit different background setting. We've moved to a different room for this special occasion.
I think there was supposed to be a wedding in here today, but it got canceled.
I wonder why.
Postponed. I've been seeing it all over Facebook, this thing giving people a second chance to see if that's really what they want to do.
Yeah, maybe. And for those of you, if you happen to notice I'm scratching a lot, like on my arm or something, I swear to God, I have not been smoking any meth or anything like that. It's allergy season, and my allergies are going haywire right now. So just bear that in mind as I take a sip of this cool, refreshing, lemonade. Shameless plug lemonade and maybe some other stuff.
Oh my.
Oh man, so let's get right into it here. Now, you said I know you've been performing music longer than 15 years. But
my whole life.
Yeah. Now, and I will say that's a little throwback. Our family, mine and Chris's, my father's side of the family, music is just in our blood. I mean, I know our grandparents were really good friends with singer-songwriter Curly Putman.
Mm-hmm. There's a story about that. I didn't know that until I was running sound at the Paint Rock Valley Bluegrass Festival and met a guy there, and he introduced himself to me, and he said, "Was your grandfather by the chance Glenn Sanders?" And I said, "Yeah." And Curly Putman was from
Paint Rock
Valley, and so this guy knew him, and he said, well, did you know your grandfather played bass for him? I said, no, I didn't. So he showed me a picture, and it was in their living room. So I remember that I was about 5 years old. And
you were on the couch.
We had all these people come over to play music, and I thought they were this talented, but I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was the same way for me. My mother actually showed me a picture not too long ago. I was probably, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years old. And I'm sitting on the floor in front of that floral patterned couch that everybody's grandmother had.
Sitting in the corner with enough space for him to put his guitars behind the couch.
Yep. And sitting on the couch was Curly Putman. And I was sitting right there at Curly's feet, and he had his guitar and was playing and everything. And I was just sitting there, just 2-3 years old. I'm mesmerized by anything that makes sound.
Right. And then me and you do have different mothers. So
yes.
On my mother's side of the family, my grandfather was big into bluegrass music, and he was big in the bluegrass scene. So I've got it coming from both sides of my genetics.
Well, I do too as well. On my mother's side of the family.
Are we going to get into a debate of whose mother's better? No, we better not.
No. I don't think Faye
my mother's better for me.
Faye, if you're watching, I love you. No, on my mother's side of the family, one of my great uncles is Boots Randolph.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Boots Randolph was a very well accomplished saxophone player.
Yep.
Wrote the song Yakety Sax, the theme from Benny Hill.
Benny Hill.
Yeah, the Benny Hill theme song. Yep.
That don't sound like a sax, but you get the idea.
Sounds like a broken kazoo.
I am part of that Facebook kazoo group. They've been wearing that commercial out.
So yeah, music runs deep in our blood on both sides of our families. So, but yeah, now you've got a charity thing coming up.
Yes,
in the near future.
Yeah, we're shooting to do this. Pull a calendar up. Not this coming Saturday. So it's going to air at 6 o'clock on Facebook Live on my Facebook page. I have two Facebook pages, by the way, Chris Sanders, and you can follow me. Please follow me, and you can look it up. Friend request me there as well. Also on the AC Junction page, so it will be on both of them. What's going on? And you can go to my webpage at www.acjunction.com. Do we still say www? We don't have to anymore.
I don't think anybody said www.
I'm old. Okay. All right. So go to my webpage, acjunction.com, and check out the Facebook Live show that I did a week ago Friday, and it's posted on our page. Just scroll down, you'll see it. It's pretty cool. So a lot of people saw that. I think we had about 400 people that's seen that so far. And a friend of mine talked to me about it. And I had the idea that I wanted to do a charity event, Facebook Live, while everybody's stuck at home. And I've got some really good musician friends that are high caliber, well established, and real professional. And so I contacted all of them, asked if they would be willing to help me out. And so a friend of mine that I used to work with, she lost her son to drug addiction. And she is part of a group. Some of you may have heard about it. It's called Not One More Alabama. And again, that's Not One More Alabama. And they do have a website at notonemorealabama.org, and also a Facebook page, Not One More Alabama. So what they do is they support or help support families, people who have lost loved ones to drug addiction. Also, if you were in drug addiction or alcoholism, you need help with that. It is a big support group, and they do a lot in the communities. They have a lot of volunteers, so if it's something you'd like to volunteer for. And so I thought that this would be a good charity to work for right now, because last week there was a press conference and with Donald Trump, and one of the reporters asked the president about something he had said about suicides and drug addiction and alcoholism because of this coronavirus pandemic. And he answered that, and he said yes. He said that's at the forefront of their thoughts because of so many people that are stuck at home. They can't do things. People have lost their jobs. People aren't working right now. They don't know where their next meal is going to come from. And they may already have been addicted to drugs or alcohol, but this is going to drive it even further and make it a lot worse. It's driving people into a state of depression. And so I thought, this is a perfect time to bring this to the forefront. All of these musicians are out doing Facebook Live shows. And number one, it's so that we can keep playing because we enjoy it. A lot of them are putting virtual tip jars out. I'm not doing that. I am fortunate enough that I have a full-time job during the day that is considered an essential job. I do appliance repair for S&S Appliance Parts and Service, and we're considered essential. We got to keep your refrigerators and stoves going and your washing machines to wash this virus away from your clothes. So I'm fortunate that I get to keep working. So as long as we're shut down, I am never going to put a virtual tip jar out and ask anybody for their money. I'm just going to do this for the fun and for your pure entertainment. But when we do the fundraiser this coming Saturday, there will be a website to go to donate to help that organization out, and they help out many other organizations as well.
And it is a www webpage.
Yes, it is. It'll be scrolling right across the bottom of the page the whole night. It's going to be an hour long. I'm going to tell you about some of the musicians that I've got coming. Of course, they're going to be, they're going to be live in their living rooms. We're under a lockdown, so they're not coming all the way to my underground bunker in an undisclosed. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. My underground bunker in an undisclosed location. You will be linking up with them, but one of the guys that I've got, his name is Mike Mayhall. Daniel, you might know him. He's from the Muscle Shoals area, but he's done a lot of stuff over here in Gunnersville. But last year he won the Country Male Artist of the Year award for the state of Alabama. He has played with Jeff Cook. He's played with Alabama. He's played with lots of different people. And one of the best concerts I ever saw him at was the first time I met him. A couple of years ago in Gunnersville, they had Jeff Cook Days for Jeff Cook's birthday. They had a 2-day concert, and it was phenomenal. But the best part of that show was a group they had called the Muscle Shoals Review. And that was a collaboration of musicians from the Muscle Shoals area that do all the famous recordings from Muscle Shoals. And Mike Mayhall was playing on that as well. The lead singer from Cosmic Mama was there. They had a horn section that consisted of 2 of Elvis Presley's, the Memphis Sound, I think that's what it's called, and 2 of the guys from the Muscle Shoals horn section. So there were about 12 people on stage, I believe, and it was like a living museum and Hall of Fame of musicians. So Mike Mayhall is a very accomplished musician. The next one that I've got is a guy named Robert Arthur. You can look him up. He's a songwriter out of Nashville that has had over 100 of his songs recorded by big-time artists. Brad Paisley, Jeff Bates. To me, it's escaping my mind right now, but you can look him up. He's a phenomenal guitar player, and he's my friend, and he comes and performs with me several times throughout the year when he has time. So he'll be coming from his living room in Franklin, Tennessee. And then, of course, you have me and another good friend of mine from the Huntsville area. His name's Chris Doppler. A lot of people follow him and know him. He's a songwriter and a performer. And then I have a young lady that I have not met, but I've seen some of the stuff that she does from Huntsville there, and she's really good, and she's friends with Chris. So they will be joining me live. It's going to be a night of music. It's going to be a night of stories. Going to be a couple of people going to tell their personal story about the drug addiction and their family members. So we ask that you tune in on Facebook Live this coming Saturday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll be Saturday, April 11th.
Saturday, April the 11th.
Yes. Now, before we get into some music and everything, we're going to talk about some of your accolades and some of your accomplishments.
I have accomplishments?
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. Does that count?
I've seen your kids. I'm
No,
kidding.
They are
They
are my number 1 accomplishment. Actually, my number 1 accomplishment was marrying my wife. So, and then
I'm kidding, Caroline. If you're watching this, I'm kidding.
And then my 2 kids, and then my job, and then my music, So I think at this point, though, the music comes before the job.
I think so.
If my boss is listening, hey, that's the way it is, man. I'll keep working for you. I promise I'll do a good job.
So, talk about now to have been steadily playing music like you were for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
That in and of itself, as a musician myself, playing 15 years steady.
Oh yeah,
is an accomplishment.
It is. Had a group, still have it. It's called AC Junction. And the idea of AC Junction was a two-piece acoustic group to just go out and play and perform. And I started at walked into a coffee shop called the Coffee Tree. It's no longer there, but it was in South Huntsville. And me and Caroline went in to get some coffees or something. Didn't even know the place was there. So we happened to walk in on their open mic night. And I asked them, could I sign up? And I did a song. They immediately booked me for a showcase, and so it went from there. I found a lead guitar player. Another good friend of mine from Louisiana, LaRue, they did the song, famous song, New Orleans Ladies. Rod Roddy, their keyboard player, he played my very first show with me as AC Junction. And he lived in Huntsville at the time, but he's back in back in Louisiana. So anyway, that just went on. We found a restaurant to play at, then another, then another, then another. And for about 5 or 6 years, we were playing 7 nights a week. And I don't generally play in any bars or anything. It's all family entertainment. So we were just going, we would work all day and then get off work, and we would drive from Fayetteville, Tennessee, to Columbia, Tennessee, Pulaski, Shelbyville, Athens, Huntsville. So we were just kind of all over the place. And then it slowed down a little bit, and we were playing about 5 nights a week. And so now I'm still doing well. As of right now, I'm not, but until this pandemic hit, I was playing 4 nights a week, doing some solo shows. One of the main guys that had been with me for so long, he hung up his guitar, he retired, and so I thank him for all the years that he played with me. But and he'll come back from time to time. But so now I have different musicians coming with me to perform at some of my shows. So whenever we get back open, I know one of the restaurants closed down. So they were a small restaurant and they were struggling, and some of these small businesses just aren't going to make it. So you'll need to help them out and go order curbside pickup from them. They're not going to make it if you don't still keep supporting them. But yeah, this is literally. In 15 years, I have not taken a break. I haven't missed. There's been times when I may only have had 1 night to play, but that's very few and far between. But in 15 years, I've not missed a week of playing music until now.
Yeah, and like I said, that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment for a musician.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of it.
Especially if you're playing the bar/restaurant scene, even for family restaurants. I know from my experience, bars are a little bit easier because bars are a dime a dozen, and they're always looking for somebody that they can pay cheap to come in and provide entertainment. Mm-hmm. Restaurants, on the other hand, it's more, we don't really need entertainment. People are coming in here to eat, and they're going to come in to eat regardless.
Exactly.
So yeah, for 15 years, and all family restaurants, I'd say that's a major accomplishment.
Oh yeah, I feel blessed. I've been fortunate enough to keep doing it, and by the way, all you musicians out there in the world that are beating it hard, and you're working till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and getting in bed at 3, and then getting up and going to work all day, and then doing it all over again. The family restaurant deal is fantastic because I work all day and I get off at 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm at home in bed by 10 o'clock. So I'm going to bed to get ready for my next day at work when most of you guys are getting ready to start playing. That's the secret. That's the longevity.
Right. Now, another accomplishment, you don't only just play covers, you've also got some originals that you've written. And one of the first originals that you wrote went to number 25 on the European Top 40. Is that right? Was number 25 for like a week?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so this song, we'll play it for you right now, but I'll tell you about it. I lived in Huntsville until 8th grade, and then we moved to Tennessee, and over around the Quarters Crossroads area, if anybody knows where that is, Flintville. So I started writing a song when I was there, and I was 13 years old, and I think I was 13. 8th grade. Whatever you are in the 8th grade is what I was. But Tennessee did not have, I'm 45 now, so if that tells you something.
In Tennessee, you're typically about 16 in 8th grade. Yes, I went there.
I'm done. Okay, that was wrong. Let me apologize for my brother. To anybody watching, I'm sorry. So, as far as my songwriting abilities go, I take a long time to write a song. Tennessee did not have an NFL football team. There's people out there right now say, "What? Tennessee never had a?" At one time, they didn't have an NFL football team. Okay, you're right. At one time, they did not. That's when I started writing this song. I finished writing it in 2009. Of course, they had an NFL football team by then. So it took me a long time to write it. We released it out on the radio. It had a lot of airplay here in the States, but it was just acoustic, so it wasn't your traditional country music. And I was Googling one day. Somebody asked me about it, and I said, well, let me type it. That's my typing sound. Anyway, I typed in AC Junction, that's the name of my group. My Home's in Tennessee, that's the name of the song, by Chris Sanders. And the first thing that popped up said, My Home's in Tennessee, AC Junction, Europe's Top 100. And I said, what? So I clicked on it, and it popped up, and it was on their country music charts. It was number 25 for 1 week. It was in 2010, and then it disappeared after that. But I was proud of that. So. And it was in Belgium, of all places. I don't understand that.
They know what country music is in Belgium?
Oh, yeah, they love it over there, apparently.
You know, and like I said, that's, in and of itself, even for just 1 week, even for just 1 day,
yeah,
to be a number 25 on a list in any country.
Exactly, and I was ecstatic. And now that I'm in company with some, highly praised and awarded songwriters, if I'm around them, I feel silly. Hey, I had a song hit number 25 once. I've had 10. Oh, okay. But to the other musicians out there, it's a thrill to get your song on a country music chart anywhere.
I would agree with that. I don't have any originals, and even if I did, if they showed up, number 99 on the top 100, I'd be happy.
Yep.
So. But yeah, so we're going to get right into it. This is My Home's in Tennessee by AC Junction.
Yes, sir. Oh, wait a minute. This is live. I messed up, so let me do it again. Killed my first buck with my neighbor's bow. I had my very first wreck down in Booger Hall. Friends call me Hook. And my best two friends is my gun and my dog. Hey everybody, home sweet home in Tennessee. Well, I heard about the fish up at Tim's Ford Lake. Every time I wet my line, the big ones get away. I see a man who stole a 20-pounder on the wall. Some people say they didn't catch them at all. Hey everybody, my home sweet home in Tennessee. Well, my pick of all the southeastern U.S. is somewhere I can rest from city things. I need a place where I can lay my head, in the place the good Lord had blessed. Got Elvis and Graceland and Memphis blues. Head on over for the Chattanooga Chew. The Tennessee whiskey's got the real sweet smell. Don't forget Music Row and the NFL. Hey everybody, home to Tennessee. Well, my pick of all the southeastern U.S. is somewhere I can rest away from the city things. I need a place so I can lay my head, in the place the good Lord had blessed. Well, we lived in the city, but I didn't like it there. I moved to the country, to the cool, clean air. Going bucks and big fat squirrels. All the country boys love all the pretty girls. Hey everybody, my home sweet home to Tennessee. I said, hey everybody, my home sweet home to Tennessee. Hey everybody, my home sweet home to Tennessee.
All right.
hear them clapping at home.
Now you said you started that song. You finished it in 2009.
Yes.
And
don't make me do math.
I'll do the math for you. You started.
Okay.
You started writing it when?
I think I was 13. So I'm 45 now.
I don't have enough fingers and toes to count
that. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was in it was either 89 or 90 when I started that. So yeah.
See, you were 13 years old, so that would have been
about 88, 89, yeah.
So that would have been 32 years ago.
Yeah.
That's.
Why are you making us do math?
I just did the math for you.
Even the kids have been sent home from school and ain't got to do math right now, man. Come on.
Oh man, no, that's
just say it's been a long time.
Well, no, I'm saying so 88, so almost 20 years.
It took to write that song, yes.
Wow.
But, hey, I said I was a good songwriter.
No. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, to have that kind of dedication. Like, I start on something, and if it's not done within 30 minutes, I throw it off to the side.
Well, okay.
But I wouldn't say impulsive like that, but I'm impulsive like that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, I had a question and it just left my mind.
You were trying to do math, so it messed it up.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I'll tell you what. You know what? Just play us another song while I sit back and try to think of it.
All right, I'm going to get serious now. This next song is one that I'm going to do. I'm going to do this one as part of the show next week, the fundraiser. This is a song that I wrote. Everybody remembers back in 2011 all the devastating tornadoes that we had. The year prior to that, in 2010, when we had the big flood in Nashville that flooded the Grand Ole Opry, that made headlines around the world. After we had the tornadoes, we had the huge earthquake in Japan that caused the nuclear meltdown at the
Fukushima,
whatever it was called, but it caused problems. It messed stuff up. And so I wanted to write a song about natural disasters. And I started writing this song, and then it actually came to me. I was watching the news while I was writing it, and there was something going on, and they were showing the communities out helping each other. And so that song transitioned from a natural disaster song to a song called People Helping People, which is what we're going to call the benefit concert Saturday as well. So People Helping People. Now, this song was already written. It doesn't say anything about this virus or anything about the drug addiction or anything like that, but this virus is a natural disaster. It has caused a lot of medical problems. It's caused financial problems around the world, and it's brought people out to help people. People are helping people. It's all over the news. So anytime we have these natural disasters, I hope this song lifts you up. Here we go. Like any other, when we got out of the bed, went to work, went to school, did all the things that we normally did. Ordinary people, just like you and me. When our world turned around, we didn't know what to think. On the night the Grand Ole Opry drowned, that the winds blew it all down. The day the earth shook, the world stood still, the lights went out, it showed our will to live. Showed us how we give, people helping people. Was a day like no other when we turned on the news. Didn't realize we had so much to lose. It was a little girl crying, listening to her mom and dad. So many lost everything they had. On the night the Grand Ole Opry drowned, stood still. Lights went out, it showed our will to live. Showed us how we give, people helping people. When the waters rise or the wells run dry and you need a helping hand, reach out to your neighbor, they'll understand. We're all God's army, and we know just what to do. Time and time again we prove that's true. On the night the Grand Ole Opry drowned, and the day that the winds blew it all down, the day the earth shook, the world stood still, the lights went out, it showed our will to live. Showed us how we give, people helping people. People helping people.
Right.
Yo.
You know, I think that's the first time I've heard you play that song.
Is it?
I
Maybe.
think it's the first time I've heard you play
Some
it.
brother you are. You don't come to enough of my shows.
Well, if you didn't live 2 hours away.
Well, I know. Hey, I do got to hand it to y'all. Y'all do. Man, they follow me around everywhere. They come to Athens and Shelbyville and Fayetteville and all kinds of places. So.
Now, I finally remembered what it was I was going to ask you.
Did you forget it again?
No. No, I was actually going to take a minute real quick to talk about this this COVID-19 mess and everything. So, you know, a lot of people, I know, yesterday evening, the state of Alabama, Governor Ivey just issued a stay-at-home order.
Yes.
Has Tennessee issued the same kind of order?
Yes, we that Tennessee issued theirs Thursday night, and it went into effect Thursday night at midnight. Or that would have been Friday morning at midnight. But yeah, it went into effect, and it's pretty much the same thing as the state of Alabama's.
Yeah,
I think the only difference is that Governor Lee and Governor Ivey both said that they were trying to hold off on issuing the executive order. They had already suggested the stay at home. However, it was not an executive order. With the executive order, that gives the law enforcement the power to send you home if they see you out doing non-essential things. And you know, I got to say, I know they said enjoy outdoor activities, but when I came across the lake, when I came across the bridge, there weren't just 10 boats, there weren't 20 boats, there weren't 100 boats, there were hundreds of boats out. So, you know, people are going to make it harder on themselves by not following the stay-at-home order.
Well, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the way I see it is, I was actually talking with my old company, Gunny, on the way out here about it, and I liken it to a child being grounded.
Oh yeah.
You know, we told you what you were supposed to do, and you couldn't do it.
Yep.
So now we're making you do it. You can leave the house, but you can only leave the house to go to school. And I'm, you know, I'm just establishing this as like a child being grounded.
Sure. Yeah.
You can only leave the house to go to school. Once you get home from school, you cannot go over to Timmy's house. You can't go hang out at the mall with your friends or anything like that. You can only do what we allow you to do.
Yep.
So I actually have the order for the state of Alabama pulled up right here, and it lists...
It doesn't say anything about getting 10 people on your pontoon boat, does it?
No, it doesn't. I don't think, if you got 10 people on your pontoon boat, unless you've got a really big platform boat, I don't think you could maintain 6 feet between everybody.
I know. I'll stop talking because people are going to think I'm just jealous that they got boats and I don't.
I'm jealous that they got boats and I don't.
I have 2 boats, so it's okay.
I don't think that little 20-foot Johnson you got counts.
That's a javelin, thank you, and it's only 16
I'm sorry,
foot.
Javelin.
It's only a 16 foot. It's an 89 model. It's for sale if anybody wants it.
Okay, let's see here. So now these are these are the restrictions, the provisions rather, to obtain necessary supplies, groceries, healthcare items, stuff that you need. Most people don't need toilet paper for a year after this is over.
Yeah.
To obtain or provide necessary services. To attend religious services. Now, it actually, because you and I were talking about this for Tennessee earlier. Now, it does say, for Alabama, the event involves fewer than 10 people and the people maintain a consistent 6-foot distance from one another, or the event is a drive-in worship service that adheres to the following rules. All participants shall remain in their vehicles for the entirety of the service. The participants in each vehicle all share the same place of residence, and participants do not come within 6 feet of participants in other vehicles.
Yes.
Is Tennessee pretty much the same way?
No, Tennessee words it, and we printed it off to have it at church. We've got a very small church congregation. We had about 15 people there today, and we printed it off just in case. What theirs said was that religious activities are considered essential, including weddings and funerals. However, they suggest that on the weddings and funerals that you limit those people to as few people as possible.
I would like to go, and I'm going to cut you off right there real quick, because I'd like to take the opportunity to say that here at Two Beards Talking, we accept no responsibility for any legal implications for self-incrimination just made by Chris Sanders. Now go ahead.
Hey, we got the paper. We were legal, baby. Anyway, no, it states that you can. Now, it does say you have to follow the CDC guidelines. Now, the CDC guidelines on the Tennessee executive order, it said that they say to avoid meetings of 10 people or more. Well, the problem with that is if you look up the definition of the word avoid, that means stay away from if possible.
Yes.
And there are some church organizations out there that believe the Sunday morning worship service is a necessity.
Right.
And so when they use the word avoid, that's a legal term to keep the state from getting in trouble.
Florida.
Because of constant, exactly. And well, actually, I have a friend that lives there, and we talked yesterday, and he said Florida is not as bad as what the media around the nation is making it out to be.
I'm just talking about the one specific incident of the preacher that was arrested, or televangelist, or whatever.
You know what they charged him for, though? It wasn't the meeting of the people. It was they were not following the CDC guidelines.
Yes.
And that's what they charged him with.
Yes.
Because they were packed in there like sardines, elbow to elbow. So that's what they were.
Well, he needed to pass that plate around. He was running out of money.
Yeah. Careful now. You don't want to offend nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make my statement. I
No.
don't support anything he says.
No. I mean, most of the people watching this show know my religious stance, and my religious stance is believe in what you want to believe in. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. That having been said, there are people out there, I'm not going to name any names, but there are people out there who take advantage of the system.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do believe wholeheartedly that he's one of those people.
Sure. And so anyway, that's what that said. But we did, everybody, now it does say keeping 6 feet apart. If you go to the CDC website and read what that said, it says keeping 6 feet apart except for immediate family, husbands, wives, children. You're already together anyway, so what difference does it make? But we did as groups, we scattered out through the church, had pews between everybody, and so that's the way we handled it. And we're going to continue to handle it that way. And I'll be honest with you, if the governor of Tennessee says, sorry, you can't have church, then, we'll do like the Christians in China and other countries that are persecuted for being Christians. We'll just have to go somewhere and hide and do our worship service.
Well, I don't think it'll come to that. And, one of the biggest things is, a lot of people, I have seen it time and time again, a lot of churches are doing Facebook Live worship services.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit at home and pull up Facebook. I don't remember what TV show it was on, but they made a big. No, it was the Family. I think it was Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
they made a big stink about going to church every Sunday.
Right.
Going to church every Sunday. And then they find a religious show on TV. Mm-hmm. We don't have to go to church anymore. We can stay at home.
Yeah. Well, without getting deep into a religion talk, there are some, there's some churches out there that, congregations out there that there are specific things that they believe in the Bible, things that we do in actions.
Fellowship, yes. So on and so forth, yeah.
So that's what that's all about, and it's really not a big deal. It's just a splitting of words, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's any counties out there that are going to here they come. I don't think there's any counties out there that are going to really go in and break up a small church service or even a medium-sized church service. Just
not especially in a small town like where you're from, where you've got the chief.
The sheriff's grandma might be in the pew with us.
I was going to say the chief of police comes in and he's yelling at everybody to get out, and the preacher says, "Boy, I baptized you."
Yeah. So I think we'll be okay. And that's another thing. While we're talking about this COVID-19, it is funny, it started out Corona. Everybody's making fun of it with the drinks, and they switched it to COVID-19. I think they did that because they were losing.
I think losing ground on Corona paid some money to some people.
Yep. So
I never drank Corona to begin with. So.
But what has bothered me throughout this whole thing, and I posted something on Facebook the other day. You saw it, the little rant I gave about what Walmart and Kroger, and I don't mean any disrespect to any of the employees that work there. It was strictly a thing about upper management and what we were told about how when they ran out of stock, they were told by upper management that they cannot restock until they close that night, and if you wanted anything, you need to come early in the morning. I'm sorry, that flew all over me. I work, I can't come early in the morning. So
well, not to mention a lot of stores are doing, for the first hour, only senior citizens are allowed to go shopping.
They like to get up early anyway, so if they want it, they can have it. How many senior citizens do you know that don't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I know a couple, actually.
Okay. All right, but anyway, now what I want to send a message out to the world, and this is serious, folks. This is not the end of times. This is not a physical war where we're being attacked by another country as far as tanks and guns and all of that. This is not a natural disaster where we're losing power. We have power. We have water. We have running water. We have food. All of the restaurants, the ones that are able to sustain, are still open. You just have to get it to go, get it delivered, or whatever. All of the grocery stores are open. For every one of you who go out and buy tons and tons and tons and tons of groceries because you think you're going to be quarantined for 2 months, you're not quarantined at all. Only the people that are quarantined are the people who are sick, that have tested positive, or you have been around someone that tested positive, or you live in an area like New York, Louisiana. So we need to quit misusing the term quarantine. Quarantine means you're stuck by yourself, no contact with anybody else. There's very few people that is under that condition right now. Now, for those that are, they don't care what the numbers are because they're under that condition. That I understand. But everyone else that thinks we're going to be, that the government's doing this stay-at-home order means that when we walk outside of our house that a police or a National Guard is going to be there to send us back in and tell us we can't go anywhere is wrong. We can get in our car and drive through town. We can go across town. We can go to the grocery store. We can go see family members. That's what the order says. We can go see the sick, not sick with virus, but you know what I mean. You may have a loved one that's fighting some other kind of illness and they need help every day. So this ridiculousness of buying up all the meat and buying up all the toilet paper, and you're not even buying the essential products. Toilet paper is not essential, folks. It is a luxury. There are places in the world that still don't have toilet paper, if you can believe that or not. And that's the other problem. Most people in this country take for granted what we have. They don't understand what the rest of the world is going through. There are some of these third world countries that don't have anything near what we have, and we don't even think about that. We want to go buy 800 pounds of ground hamburger meat. Well, number one, if you freeze hamburger meat and thaw it out 2 months later and make hamburgers, they're not as good as if you made them and cooked them fresh then. And if it does get to the point where enough people are sick and dying that we can't keep the power grid going, nothing you buy refrigerated is going to do you any good anyway until you run out of fuel in your generator.
That's why I buy canned goods and
Canned
MREs.
goods. Yeah, the essentials are canned goods, dried goods, paper goods, and water.
Yeah, paper goods, not paper towels, not toilet
Correct.
paper.
Paper plates. It's still a luxury, but it's nice to have.
Yeah.
So quit going out and killing the grocery stores. Those workers are out there putting their lives and their families' lives at risk because everybody's just coming in there touching everything and breathing on everything. And somebody told me the other day they went when they heard that they were going to do this the stay-at-home order. They went to Walmart and spent $1,100 on food.
I'm surprised Walmart. What? Wow.
$1,100 on food. Anyway.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell you who said that because I don't want to offend them, but they told me that. But I've seen people bringing 2, 3, 4 grocery carts full of stuff up there, and you don't need to do that.
No, absolutely not.
Things will become much better if y'all just settle down.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your time off. We're all going to be getting checks here pretty soon. It's going to help out for those that have lost income. I've lost income with my music, but again, I'm fortunate that I have a full-time job that I can keep working at. But I know there's a lot of people out there who have completely lost their jobs. Companies laid people off before this happened so that they don't have to honor the unemployment and all of that, and that's pretty sorry. And I think the government is trying to intervene on some of that. So just sit back, relax, and the help's coming.
Absolutely. So
I can't get off my high horse now. I got mad the other day because I couldn't find ground beef to make hamburgers. Come on, folks.
All right, well, let's get back into some music right now. So,
all right,
whatever you feel, wherever the Holy Spirit takes you, you just play it.
Well, I'm Church of Christ, so we don't use instruments in our worship songs. So.
Oh. I was Baptist. We didn't know how to worship without music.
But I need to we don't use instruments in our worship song. Anyway, but I'm going to do you an old cover song that I like. This is an old Don Williams tune, and I've come to like this one over the years because I put a little twist on it. It's not like the traditional Don Williams tune that you're used to. I left Oklahoma driving in a Pontiac just about to lose my mind. Well, I was going to Arizona, maybe on to California, where the people all live so fine. My mama says I'm lazy, my baby thinks I'm crazy. Gonna show them all this time. Know that I ain't fooling, I don't need no more schooling. I'm gonna just walk the line. Living on toast time. Living on toast time. Well, you know that I've been through it. Gonna set my wife back to it. Living on toast time. Well, there I was at Hollywood, wishing I was doing good, talking on the telephone line. They don't need me in the movies, and nobody sings my songs. Guess I'm just a waste of time. Then I got to thinking, man, I'm really sinking, and I had a flash this time. Well, I had no business leaving, and nobody would be grieving if I went on back to Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Well, you know that I've been through it, cause I set my wife back to it. Living on Tulsa time.
All right.
Yeah, I like that tune.
That's a really good song right there.
It is. But I had to pep it up a little bit. I like Don Williams, but just kind of a mellow, flowing song. So I heard rock it up a little bit.
I heard you were not the first musician I've heard play that song that way.
Right.
I was
It's
in.
just more fun now.
It is. I was in Bonita, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I was working a sale up there, and I, for the life of me, do not remember the band that was playing at the American Legion that night. But that was one of the songs that they played, and it was a full, like, 5-piece band. Yeah. And, I mean, they played it same tempo, same style, that you know, that kind of 12-bar blues shuffle that you were doing there, and everything about it. So I almost kind of wonder if Don Williams originally intended that to be kind of like that little bluesy shuffle that you did, and then switched it up.
He very well could have, because if you remember watching, I think it was called Walk the Line, you know, the movie about
Johnny Cash.
Yeah. And when he did Folsom Prison Blues, the way he did it was real slow.
Yeah.
Well, and so the producer said, no, you need to speed it up, and that's where it got its peppiness from. The original was just, I don't think it ever would have made a hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got time for one more song here. So let's. I know you've got more originals. Let's hear another one of your originals.
Well, I want to do the one I'm most proud of. Even though my Homes in Tennessee hit, I've got about 12 originals, but maybe more. I've lost count. But anyway,
enough for at least one CD.
Yeah, well, I already had one CD. Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, I won't talk about that because everybody goes, where can I get your music? It's not on Spotify because I'm too lazy to figure it out. It's not on CD Baby because I'm too lazy to figure it out. And I'm out of CDs, so I can't mail any out. I got to get some more made. But I am working on a new album, and it's going to be more of a traditional music, country music album. And this song right here is the one I'm most proud of, because I wrote this song a little over a year ago. And when my daughter heard me play it, she said, Dad, you got to sing this song at my wedding. And so I was fortunate enough that a real producer heard the song and wanted to record it. And he's, we don't know what's going to happen with it yet, but we did. He was Kelvin Wooten, and he has produced for Earth, Wind and Fire, Macy Gray, all kinds of people. You can look
wow.
at Kelvin, not Kevin. Lives right over in Athens, and he won he was nominated for a Grammy for one of his songs in the movie Django that he produced.
Wow.
And so that's what I said. So, my buddy said, hey, do you want to record the song? He's, I got a producer here. Well, in Huntsville, there's a dime a dozen people calling themselves producers.
Yeah.
I said, well, sure. What's he going to charge? Oh, nothing. Well, when I looked him up, I drove off just incriminating myself again. I was looking him up while I was driving because I was excited. But anyway, yes. So I had to stop the car and say, this guy's the real deal. So we went and we recorded it. And I've always been told as a musician, if they want you to pay them, turn them down. And he didn't. He didn't. So he recorded it. So I went back and engineered it down. I like to do the music engineering and all that stuff too. So the track engineering, manipulation, whatever you want to call it. And I got this song. You can go to Facebook, to my page. I'm sorry, not Facebook. Go to YouTube and type in AC Junction, the name of my band, and Just Us, the name of the song, under the YouTube search. And it will come up and you can hear the studio version of this. So my daughter said, Daddy, you got to play this song at my wedding. And her and her fiance at the time, husband now, got married May of last year. So they got their 1-year anniversary coming up. So why not do this song now, Just Us. Saw you sitting there all alone, staring at the clock like you were waiting on someone to show. Looks like he's not coming in. You start to leave. That's where it all begins. Before you hit the door, I asked you to dance. Imagine my surprise when you said yes. Just us, holding each other tight, listening to the perfect song that's been playing all night. Just us. Nothing ever felt more right than this moment, lost in each other's eyes. Just us. A few church, preacher man praying, saying, son, do you take this girl to be your wife? But daddy said, boy, you better be a man, you better treat her and love her the best you can for the rest of your life. I said, I will. Through cutting cake, throwing flowers, taking pictures, I tried to get the chance. Then the band said it's time for the bride and groom dance. Just us holding each other tight, listen to the perfect song that's been playing all night. Just us. Nothing ever felt more right than this moment, lost in each other's eyes. Just us. Oh, 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 oh. 53 years went by too fast for me. When the family left, fell down on my knees. Just us. I was holding you so tight, thinking about the perfect song that's played all our lives. Just us. Nothing ever felt more right than all these moments with you by my side. Just us. Just us. I was holding you so tight. Yes, I was. Just us.
All right.
There you go.
I think out of all the songs that you've got, that one's probably got to be one of my favorites. So we are running short on time. We're going to have to leave it there. Don't forget to go on Facebook. If you're listening out there on Armed Radio, don't forget to look us up on Facebook, Two Beards Talking. Like us, follow us, interact with us. We appreciate everything you're doing. And if you're watching this on Facebook, don't forget to tune in on Monday nights on Armed Radio at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's every Monday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And then also on Tuesdays, I have my show with Rod Burks, 2AT, Second Amendment Talk. Be sure to look us up there as well. I got nothing else here. Again, big shout out to the troops overseas. We appreciate everything y'all are doing for us. Keep up the good work. Come home safe. We're all rooting for you here back home. And a special thank you to my brother Chris Sanders for being on the show with us today and playing for us. We definitely appreciate that. Don't forget to look up his charity event coming up this Saturday, April the 11th at 6 p.m. on Facebook. What was the name of it again?
Not One More Alabama.
Not One More Alabama. Be sure to look that page up as well. This has been Two Beards Talking. I am Daniel Sanders. Thanks for listening, everybody.